Now fashion designer Sabyasachi slammed for insulting Hindu tradition. Mangalsutra campaign triggers social media. Tanishq, Fab India, see it. Double, now Sabyasachi. Political pressure, social media bullying, the new India. Sabya ad, a Sabya. Or is this moral policing? Social media, now super censor. Top focus on To The Point this evening. The fact is, viewers, all these ads actually cleared the set protocol in terms of censorship, but some of them were taken down. The Sabyasachi campaign right now is still up, not taken down, but the heat is immense. As I speak, it's the current top trend, boycott Sabyasachi. Here's more. Boycott Fab India. Boycott Siet. Boycott Dabur. And now the latest, boycott Sabyasachi. This festive season, it is open season. Top brands bullied online, trolled for allegedly hurting Hindu sentiments, for allegedly hurting cultural ethos, for allegedly promoting lesbianism. The latest, fashion designer Sabyasachi in the eye of a right-wing storm for this campaign, for allegedly insulting the Hindu symbol of marriage, the Mangalsutra. But what has exactly irked a pious lot? A big-boned, voluptuous woman flaunting a heavy cleavage, resting her head on the bare chest of a man, sporting the fashion designer's version of a Mangalsutra. The outrage that the pious thread of a Mangalsutra is being insulted by the heavy show of flesh. While the fashion house has maintained the no-comment stand over the online furor, the campaign is still up and has not been taken down. This in the backdrop of big corporates pulling down their campaigns after facing online and political heat. 3 days ago, Dabur India Limited tendered an apology and withdrew its latest advertisement featuring a lesbian couple celebrating the Hindu festival of Karwa Chauth. The brand had come under heavy political and online fire for allegedly promoting lesbianism. Before that, Siet came under attack with its brand ambassador Amir Khan asking people not to burst crackers on roads. The ad was given a communal angle and clamour grew to ban it. Before that, outrage over Fab India. Fab India pulled down this campaign, once again owing to political and social media pressure for labelling their latest campaign Jashn-e-Riwaz.
Jashn-e-Riwaz.
While those supporting these boycott calls feel there is a concerted attack on Hindu traditions in popular culture, the others question the ethos of New India, where if you believe in a multicultural liberal society that promotes inclusivity, you will be silenced. And importantly, after clearing all censors, social media stepping in as a super censor with its own moral and religious reference points. Bureau Report, India Today. All right, because the fact is, in one fortnight, we've seen 4 ads that have come under heavy fire, primarily for hurting Hindu sentiments. The latest, the ad of Sabyasachi. I want to cut across right now to our panelists, primarily to discuss, is it suddenly that we have developed a thinner skin, or was this the norm earlier as well? I have with me Harish Bijur, brand and strategy expert. Mr. Bijur, you know, you've been somebody who's dealt with brands. Is this a new phenomena? Or suddenly, you know, that suddenly we've developed a thinner skin, or did it something which always existed earlier, but we didn't make such a big deal about it then?
Preeti, actually, it's been around for a period of time. Only thing is, sensitivity has gone up humongously of late. If you look at it, we live in the era of social media, and social media has created a kind of a democracy of comment. in the sense that any Tom, Dick, and Harish can, will, and should comment on everything going around. And this actually opens up the Pandora's box of discussion and debate between two factions. To an extent, it's a resurgence of the right to comment all of a sudden using social media.
Harish, I'll ask you another question. Yes, everybody has an opinion on social media, but we did not see brands in the past buckling down so quickly. Right now, yes, the Sabyasachi campaign is still online. We don't know till how long. But let's just go back. Big corporates like Dabur pull their ad within 6 hours of facing heat online.
Yes, Preeti, this would happen fundamentally because brands are concerned about the commercials. Brands are commercial entities and they want to sell. And if they do see a threat to their sales, they will withdraw. And I think to an extent, brands haven't tested out the waters before launching many of these pieces of advertising. And therefore, there is a mass piece of communication and that's a niche piece of communication. And the niche piece of communication is going out into the mass, and that's where the trouble tends to ride.
But Mr. Bijur, now playing the devil's advocate, on the other hand, there's this big lobby which insists that certain brands are taking advantage of, the sensitive nature that we are in right now of people taking offense very easily to market those very brands. Many people give the example of Dabur, a femme bleach ad which was pulled down 3 days ago, primarily because, two lesbians were celebrating Karwa Chauth. On any given day, this ad would have been called out for, possibly peddling something which feeds into the fair obsession of this country.
Yes, that's true. It's all about sensitivity. And what really happens is, particularly festival time and particularly Diwali time gets to be a hypersensitive time. This is the point of time when, people are really celebrating a particular theme, a particular ethos, and then people tend to get sensitive. So if you look at it, it's like peeling an onion. One brand goes and says something and the first layer is peeled. And then another brand says something, another layer is peeled. And finally, when 6 or 7 brands are saying several different things, in comes a tumult. And I think that's exactly what's happened because, each one of these brands has taken a niche story out to the mass.
Mr. Bijur, before I let you go, I know you need to leave. Before I let you go, I want to ask you, 2 very quick questions. How much does the fact play in that it's not just pressure or social media trolling? Many times it's echoed by prominent politicians, prominent governments, state governments coming out and criticizing the brand. It happened in the case of the Dabur ad. It happened in the case of Fab India, where the Karnataka government, the Madhya Pradesh government stepped in and said, we're going to take action against these ads.
Well, what happens is there is social media where everybody is commenting, and that's diverse, dissipated stuff. In comes the politician, and the politician tends to represent the views of the masses. And therefore, in comes the politician with an opinion, and it cascades, and it becomes a movement.
Right.
So to an extent, what the politician is doing is he's catering to the largest numbers of the masses.
And what do you, and Mr. Bijur, what do you quickly make of the fact that, if this was done, say, for Eid or for Christmas, it would have a different reaction because it's, Hinduism is a softer target.
Whatever you pick, and, my advice is don't pick religion, don't pick politics. You're going to be on safe ground. Whether it be, any of the religions or the myriad religions that we tend to celebrate, don't touch any of them.
All right.
Because whenever you touch any piece of religion or whenever you take politics, poke your fingers into the eyes of politics, trouble tends to emanate.
All right.
My simple mantra to brand marketeers, avoid religion.
But Mr. Bijur, appreciate you joining us. You said avoid religion, avoid, anything that is sensitive in nature. But who would have known, a Mangalsutra on a woman who just looked, who's flaunting a cleavage. And that's the reason why people take offense, because you don't know what people are going to take offense next. Thank you for joining us. I want to cut across with Trisha Shetty. I'm Deepa Ishwar. Deepa Ishwar is an activist. You're an artist. You've taken strong offense to this latest advertisement of Sabyasachi campaign of a Mangalsutra being adorned by a woman who's clearly showing ample cleavage. What's wrong with that?
Ma'am, I think I'm a huge fan of Sabyasachi's. I've always wanted to wear one of his attires for my wedding, and at least once, But then this is highly disappointing. And I think that he got what he wanted. So we're all discussing this. Suddenly he's got all the attention. I mean, I'm not saying he's never got the attention before, but look at this. This has become the talk of the town. Now people would want to know, what is this? People would look into it. Including me, I think we're giving it a lot of undue attention. We should be ignoring such things, in the sense that is the right response we can give to these kind of things, because it is so offensive.
But why is it offensive? Ms. Ishwar, why is it offensive? Because there's a woman who's clearly well endowed, who has a cleavage.
Point one, this is not, I'm coming to that, ma'am. Point one, this is not just any jewelry. This is the Mangalsutra. And that's exactly the word he has also used. It's a Mangalsutra. It's not just a necklace. It's not just a choker. It's not just any jewelry. He calls it intimate jewelry. It is intimate because there is some sort of a sanctity attached to that jewelry. We all wear it with some sort of commitment attached to it. And what exactly is he trying to sell through his photographs there? And how many of us actually saw the design of the Mangalsutra? But tell me honestly.
But madam,
sure none of us.
But madam, I again want to ask you, what's wrong with a woman with an ample cleavage wearing a Mangalsutra? Women don't have breasts. They don't have cleavages.
But that's not, there are so many other beautiful ways of portraying a Mangalsutra.
But what is wrong with cleavage?
The only way to portray it.
What is wrong with the cleavage?
Why would you want to show it exactly? I'm sure this is not just
Why should a cleavage offend? Why should a cleavage offend? Why should a cleavage, Ms. Ishwar, why should a cleavage offend Hindu culture?
That Sabyasachi's campaigning team has not put any thought into this. This is not just some random picture that has come into his Insta
But madam, I just want to ask you, for somebody who's well versed with Hinduism.
I have a problem with those thoughts.
But madam, I'm asking you, what is wrong? Madam, can you hear my question, Ms. Ishwar? I have a very basic question. What is wrong and why is a cleavage anti-Hindu?
No, I did not say it's anti-Hindu. I think it's anti-Mangalsutra. I think it's anti.
A cleavage? How is a cleavage anti? Okay, Trisha Shetty, a cleavage is anti. Okay, a cleavage is anti. Is anti-Mangalsutra, which is extremely pious, and as per what Ms. Ishwar.
I think a Mangalsutra is best worn when it is worn the way it is. Have you seen how Priyanka Chopra had worn the Mangalsutra along with a red dress on the cover page of Vogue? It's beautiful. And you know how
it's each to their own, madam.
A woman who
it is each to their own. No, would you not reckon it's each to their own? Are we going to give people moral reference points that you will wear it when you don't show a cleavage, and you will wear it when you show, and you can't wear it if you have a cleavage? Okay, I just want to bring in Trisha Shetty. Trisha Shetty, cleavage and a Mangalsutra don't quite go together. That is what Ms. Ishwar is saying.
You know, the beautiful thing about celebrating women and their autonomy and empowering women is that we get to do what we want to do with our bodies. So should the previous panelist not want to wear a Mangalsutra a certain way, she is entitled to. But what one is not entitled to do is dictate terms on what other people can do. And here's the thing, if as a customer, right, you don't like this, don't buy it. No one is forcing you to go buy a Mangalsutra from Sabyasachi. Give your money to a brand that whose values align with you. If you think this advertisement does not align with your values, use your money power and don't go buy it. No one is forcing you to buy this. What I find objectionable is this cleavage police, is this moral police, is this Hindutva police going around telling people what it takes to be a good Hindu, what it takes to be a good woman, you know, what they need to be doing to qualify to be a good Hindu, to be a good woman in this day and age. And if you want to talk about the politics of, I mean, you cannot not talk about this without addressing the politics of it all. This is coming right after the Dabur incident, like you mentioned, the Fab India incident you mentioned.
Trisha Shetty, there is an entire lobby which believes that Hinduism is a soft target. You can do so with, say, a Hindu tradition or a Hindu or an ornament which, like a Mangalsutra, which symbolizes Hinduism, but you will not take that risk with, say, something in Islam or Christianity.
Look, here's the point. This climate of intolerance that's being bred time and again with an excuse of saying that, you know, you're not basically saying we are tolerant as a religion. You're basically saying here is a benchmark we perceive of intolerance. So we are going to ape the same kind of intolerance that we are begrudging other religions apart from Hinduism to be, right? Which is absolutely ridiculous. And it is not the tenet of a democracy. Your religion stays within your home. You get to decide how you practice your religion. And this whole boogeyman of Hinduism is a soft target. Really, when you have politicians from the leading party calling for boycott, calling for harassment, calling for vandalization of shops, properties, of businesses, you're going to claim a religion, Hinduism is a soft target. Under whose delusion does it fall under?
All right, Deepa Iswar, once again, Madam, I'll come back to you. And I want to ask you, what is wrong if a woman decides to flaunt her cleavage because she has one, and wear the Mangalsutra and rest her head on a man who is bare-chested? What is wrong with this? Why should we set moral reference points for that woman?
Where exactly are we going? So whatever happens in the name of freedom of expression, what is wrong with doing each of this? So then it's like, you know, you do whatever you want, to each his own. So there is no moral responsibility for these ads that are on national pages with people who can influence. Sabyasachi is an influential name. You don't think he has a basic responsibility of portraying things, considering the sensitivity?
Why
so
is cleavage?
And this takes me back to the same old campaign that I was part of, which is the Shadimala campaign.
Our culture is steeped in Kama Sutra, yet we take offense of a Mangalsutra which rests on the bosom of a woman.
Can you please allow me to complete my point, please?
Yes.
See, it's like, you know, it's like if suppose at that point when we were discussing a temple issue, it's okay. The Supreme Court has brought in a verdict. To each his own. You don't enter the temple if you don't want to. Similarly, today you're saying it's okay. Sabyasachi has put up a nude picture, an almost nude picture with a Mangalsutra. You don't buy it if you want to. That's not how it works, ma'am. He wants people to invest money into it. If he's sensible enough, he should ensure that the feelings of people are not hurt.
And I want to ask you that very question which you're not answering.
It's a very private thing.
The question I'm asking you is the same. Why does a cleavage offend Hindus? What is wrong with a woman who decides to sport a Mangalsutra on her cleavage? Why is it so offensive?
Is this the only... No. It's not about cleavage. It's not about cleavage. It's about cleavage being associated with such a sacred ornament. Do you think this is the only picture where Sabyasachi, or for that matter, any designer has with a model showing a cleavage? No, we don't have a problem with any of those. Our problem is because we consider this ornament very sacred. And it is absolutely insensitive for someone to draw the attention of the onlookers to the cleavage or the nude picture
our
of the
history
model
is steeped
by
in
portraying a Mangalsutra on the costume.
Isn't that a part of our culture? And suddenly we take offense because a woman
So what is
has
not
an ample
part of our
bosom
culture,
and she has
Please enlighten me. So are you telling me that all this should be tolerated in the name of culture? So what? If that's the case, then why
does cleavage need to be tolerated is the question, no? All right, I need to go. Okay, madam, fine. Okay, you've made your point. Appreciate you joining us, and I am sure. Okay, Trisha, we lost you, now we've got you back.